Arganissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.arganissima.com. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty. Arganissima, New York.
Well, welcome to the EMBC Beauty channel, which is a offshoot of our sequence in our family of channels, and of course on iHealth Radio as well. Today we're going to have a new topic and a new show that we're going to be launching with a special guest. We'll be talking about the road to success, the road to stardom. And literally today, we're talking about the rising of a star. And we have a star actually with us, and we're going to talk about her journey. And she's going to tell us about her journey, how it all started, where it is today, her, challenges, her aspirations, and, just her destination. And we want to support her, and we want to be exactly, on her corner here, and just kind of like, love her music and all her talent. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest star today, Elexis Ansley.
Hi. I'm just so blessed to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's our pleasure. And thank you for accepting the opportunity and the invite actually to be on the show. So we're excited. And really, I've listened to some of the music. I love it. I've watched the clips and the videos. So it's awesome. And we'll talk about that today. But so Elexis, can you tell us a little bit about your story with music? And before even music, like, what's your inspiration? What drove you to become a musician? And I believe also an actress, right? An actor, right?
Yes.
All right.
Well, let's see. I've been singing since I was like 3 years old. And just immediately when I started singing, I just knew that it was something that I was supposed to do. It's just always been a knowing for me. And when I was about 9 years old, I started studying classical flute. And I studied flute all through high school, college. I majored in music with my principal instrument as flute. And I also picked up bass guitar in high school, did some gigs here and there, a lot of shows. So like I said, went to school for music and graduated from FIU. And I had a weight loss journey in between all of that. I used to be 265 pounds, so I lost over 100 pounds.
I want to say this. No one could potentially even see that. I mean, if I've been watching your stuff and following you, and I can tell you, I mean, that's not something that I would even have thought about, but that is an inspiration. I mean, and we can talk about that journey itself, because we have some sort of a theme going on as well with our family of channels, which is about health and wellness and all of that. So yes, we want to talk about that. But continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you, but it just like something that hit me right there.
That's all right. Yeah. So like I was saying, I had that kind of in my early 20s, and so I started gigging a little late, because it took me some time to kind of get through that, and then all the emotional stuff that comes with it, and then kind of reprogramming your mind, because your body changes, but your mind kind of it lags behind. So it takes some time for you to catch up with it. And so then I started doing some top 40s gigs and that sort of thing. And probably like about 4 years ago is when I started releasing my original music. So not too long ago.
Well, again, that's your original music. I'm sure the gigs you did, they were more like I guess replays and other songs and things like that you probably liked, and or other musicians and artists that you've loved and kind of wanted to just sing their songs, right? I mean, tributes to them maybe. Can you tell us maybe some of those folks that inspired you, like musicians or singers, and that you really love their music and genre, and you just took it out there?
Yeah, well, I really always loved Christina Aguilera's vocals. She's such a powerhouse. Of
Nice.
course, always been inspired by Michael Jackson,
Classic.
Aretha Franklin, Etta James, Amy Winehouse, just all the good ones. You know, I love soulful singers. I love jazz and blues. It's always been like a passion of mine as well, and something that I want to get into in the future. So yeah, those are like the main inspirations, I would say.
Well, listen, I mean, those are, beyond stars.
Right.
Those are the classics. I mean, you're talking about some, like pillars of music and just, singing and everything. I mean, they're just special in all their way. Now you started as a child. I mean, 3 years. I mean, that's very young, and it was with you all the time. Obviously, you had some support. I mean, as you grew up into families and stuff, sometimes you have that support, environment. Sometimes you might not have to. You may not have. And in your case, I'm assuming you've made it because you had that. Can you tell us about that? I mean, was there anybody in particular in the family that helped and kind of like cherished that and helped you and guided you a little bit, maybe even supported you?
Actually, no. I mean, I did have support, as in, my parents got me a flute and bought me a bass. But they weren't too supportive back then in terms of me wanting to have a career in music, and they were just looking out for me, because it's hard to make it in the music world and that sort of thing. So, I dealt with a lot of adversity in terms of, people not really understanding why I wanted to go that route and that sort of thing. But, it was just something that I just knew in my heart and my soul that I was meant to do it. And I just kept going, no matter what. Even when I was, so overweight and I was like, how am I going to get where I want to go? Even then, I still was like, no, like this is something I have to do, and that was something that brought me through my weight loss journey, actually, for sure.
Well, just if we pause on that just a second, I mean, this is true inspiration because you're determined regardless. And I get it. I mean, as a parent myself, I do know that we always have that influence. Like we want our kids to have the best and we have some plan for them. And so to your point, I mean, music is very competitive. It's tough. And probably like, well, who you're going to be, why you think you're going to be successful. That's probably the same, the questions that people would have, and parents specifically, like, you're not going to make it or whatever in their mind. We want you to be a doctor. We want you something else. I don't know, an executive, right? so we all get through that, moment when we are younger, we hear it from our parents, and we probably, as parents, we usually kind of think the same. And it is sometimes the wrong way to do it because, your aspiration, your motivation is really what's going to drive you. And if we support that, typically that's a great thing because that's when you succeed more. But nevertheless, you were able to pursue that dream, that journey, that inspiration, that motivation, that target that you had put in, which is your real passion, music. And you did. And years later, you are in it. You started producing your own music. I'm assuming, I mean, you have a team, you work with producers and stuff like that, but it's your real signature now. How is that reflected now? How the parents are doing with that? Are they happy? Are they like, oh, wow, listen, we were wrong and you are right and you did it and we got your back right now?
I wouldn't say that they're saying that exactly, but my mother's very supportive of my career, and she has told me that I'm her inspiration recently, which we've had a very heartfelt conversation about it, which was beautiful. And my father and I, we don't really talk that much, but I went to see him in December to kind of like offer an olive branch and let's start a good relationship. Let's start where we are now. And so it was successful, I would say. And I think he's still kind of like observing, that he doesn't know how it's going to continue to progress and that sort of thing. So they're kind of quiet about it.
Well, I can
but
tell
I
you,
do think
yeah.
they are proud.
They are, and I can tell you this. I mean, it doesn't matter. Sometimes, especially guys and parents and fathers specifically, I can speak on that behalf. Typically we might not share the feelings the same way that moms would do. That's just how I guess we are made. but in essence, I mean, there's no parent that I think out there that would not be proud of their children when they reach and achieve any type of success. So I think that's there, and it will actually eventually highlight itself better. But again, at the end of the day, it's your life, and you were determined. And again, that is I'm so proud to have you actually today here, because you're a true inspiration to a lot of people watching and listening, because some people have the same dreams as you in the music and in the acting and all the stuff, or in general. You also talked about weight loss. That's a big deal. A lot of people are struggling with weight, and they don't know how to start, or where it's going to work and how it's going to turn, and it's a tough journey. But you've achieved both. I mean, you've succeeded there, and you've succeeded in your career path, and you're still in the beginning. I mean, it's still your journey, and there's a lot more. You're young, and there's going to be a whole future ahead, and obviously with some challenges, because it's just not just like, again, your parents were right about one thing. It is not an easy world when you're talking to music. I mean, the thousands, millions, if not of talent out there, and everybody's trying to get there, right? But
Yeah.
you have a signature, you have your own voice, you have your own flavor, and I've seen your clips, your music. It's different, it's inspired differently, I think. So first of all, that is great, and I do want for people listening and watching to really take that and just absorb that. No matter what your environment, yes, sometimes you get the support, sometimes you don't, but at the end of the day, if you know where you're heading and you are determined, nothing can stop you. And that in itself, a message for everyone. So the road to stardom, the road to success in general, no matter what, corporate, this, that, the other, education, music, it is going to be tough, and you're going to have a lot of bumps in the way. But it's you just get up, stand up, stay strong, stay tall, and move on, right? And you did that. Now ultimately, how do you feel about all that yourself? I mean, your journey, like right now up to this point, you have to feel great about it. You have to believe that, yes, this has been terrific. Yes, tough, but terrific. And I want to do more of that. What would you tell us about that?
Oh, well, just everything that happens to you in life is significant, whether it's good or bad. And, we say bad, quote unquote, but, those things make us stronger, and those things, give us drive and give us purpose. And so I wouldn't be where I am today had I not had the path that I was on, had I not have the people, saying that I couldn't do it. Those people actually helped me, believe it or not. So yeah, I would say that you have to embrace your entire journey. You have to really love the ups and downs, because life is about waves, and without the low wave, you won't have the high wave.
Listen, I mean, we will have to use that. I'm gonna have to use that line as well sometime. I love it, actually. But you're right. It's amazing how some of these elements that kind of almost inhibit your abilities in the beginning, or like they attempt to, they actually sometimes the driver, because the motivation happens there. Like, you know what? Oh, that's a challenge. I'm taking it. And oftentimes, I mean, if you take it, on the road, you will actually make it. And a lot of people that take that as a real challenge and really work towards, proving to themselves first, and then of course to the world, like, listen, you were wrong about me. I can do this. I did this, and I'm doing it with your consent or not, with not consent, but I'm doing it. And hopefully now you see that, I was right, and, give me the support, which that's where you are today. And by the way, that story is, I think, for a lot of folks, and any young, person right now thinking about, like, starting a career in music or otherwise, listen, don't let anybody or anything stop you, right? Just focus, know where you're heading. No, it's going to be a tough journey. Be prepared and just take the necessary steps, and go left, go right, go up, but never go back. That's it. That's my little 2 cents in there. But yeah. I think that's really how I see it. And I think, just you're a perfect, live example of how that works, and, where you can be eventually if you really, really stick to things that you believe in. So that being said, now let's talk about your music and your inspiration in the music itself, like the type of music, the content, the stories in your music, because you have stories in your music.
Yeah, I mean, everything in my music is inspired from actual events. You know, all my songs except for my very first song were written by me, and it was a song that was just basically done. And you know, they approached me and said, "Do you like this song?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." Then everything after that, I wrote myself with the help of my team, of course. So, I mean, the biggest focus for me when I write is to focus on some aspect of positivity. Now, the song might have, you know, things that we go through in it, but it's all about how you can get through those things, and seeing the silver lining and whatever you're going through, or whatever relationship, you know, you're talking about, and that sort of thing. And that's always just been my goal, is to really inspire other people through positivity.
And that's the best thing. I mean, certainly positivity is a good thing, and you know how that is important, and you're just sharing that message through your own artistry and music, right? Now you write your own songs now, right?
Yeah.
And that's also another achievement, because that's not easy. I don't think I can write anything personally, but again, think about it. I mean, you're writing that because it's coming from the heart, it's coming from you, and you feel that music, you feel those words, and you can articulate them because the emotion is there as well. And I don't think, I mean, there's obviously a lot of artists, they do different things. Some people write their own, some people have writers, but that's also a big deal. Now, in the journey with the writing, the production, all the stuff, were there any challenges?
Oh, of course. There's always challenges. No matter what song it is, you know, I kind of feel like without the challenge, it's like not even worth it. I don't want to say like it's not worth it, but you know, it makes it worth it to go through those challenges, and then to finally have this piece of work and to say, wow, I made this and it's done and it's finished and it's beautiful and I love it and it inspires other people, you know. For instance, you know, one of my songs called Light Shower, which was on the Billboard, was number 25 on the Billboard Dance Club charts. That one I actually wrote with the intention of healing other people. And so I recorded it in 432 hertz, which is actually extremely healing. You know, I don't know, for people who don't know, standard music is recorded in 440 hertz. And if you just drop it 8 hertz, it has extreme like health and emotional benefits. But as we know that, you know, all of our software is geared towards 440 hertz. So making a song in 432, you know, there was like, you know, the frequencies wanted to like fight a little bit, you know, the bass would get woo, 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 a little bit, you know, so it was very challenging to create that song and to make it sound, because I had a vision with it. I wanted it to sound a certain way, and it was very challenging. But just to get to the end of it and to come to the finished product and to listen to it and to say that, you know, I made this piece of music and it's healing for other people was pretty amazing. And it's probably my favorite song to date that I've released thus far.
Well, certainly it was with a I guess a high purpose, and that is actually very beautiful, because I think we need a lot of that in this world, and I think some of the music today has lost a little bit of that. So when somebody is putting that kind of effort and content, I mean, it gets deep, and ultimately it did have a good I guess run in the billboards, right?
Yeah.
And it's still out there, right? So the music is still out there. So we want to certainly maybe get a list of all the hits and the songs that we can actually share, here on not play, but share definitely with the folks on our description, so people can actually listen to and maybe purchase those and just follow your music and your style. Now, you were talking about the challenges. I mean, that's more the technical piece, but like anything in terms of production, things like this, if someone is listening right now, is like, well, I want to be just like her, what would you tell them? I mean, like, what can they do to maybe, circumvent these things, or maybe just kind of be able to handle them, or those obstacles or hurdles?
I think that it's really all about just being true to yourself, and not backing down from that. If you have a vision, to really go for it all the way and to be prepared for challenges, but I feel that the universe kind of tests you sometimes. How bad do you want this? How dedicated are you? you know and I think that if artists can just embrace their uniqueness instead of trying to sound like somebody else or be like somebody else, it's really about who are you, what do you want to offer the world, and really not shying away from that.
Listen, that is a very direct and an inspiring message right there. So of course, folks, if you're listening, I mean, let's sink that in. I mean, we can do this. Anyone can do it. But again, you have to follow your dreams, follow your belief. So another question here that people probably want to ask is, you mentioned acting. And what is that like for you and in general as an experience?
Well, I started doing like some short films here and there. And then I actually went out to LA and spoke with some people out there, and they recommended that I go to acting school. So I did. I went to acting school in New York City at Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute. And it was completely amazing. I just felt like I got everything that I needed in my toolkit to become the best actress that I could, and to actually act and emote from my own personal emotional experiences so that the emotions are real when you're on camera. It's just, I love anything in the arts, but it's just really been great to just have, just a different avenue of expression. And so recently I just came off set a couple months ago. I was in Nashville filming a prequel to a trilogy of movies that I'm starring in called Role Play. And it brings awareness to the sex trafficking industry, which is really important right now, big topic. So again, there's the similar thread of positivity and that sort of thing. And it was just great just to be on set, after COVID, because nobody was really doing anything for a while. And it was just great to get back on set and to work with some amazing people. And Kimo Capano was my acting coach and the director, and he's worked with everybody in Hollywood. I mean, like Jake Gyllenhaal, all the A-list actors, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And like I said, just a different avenue of exploration and of the arts and that sort of thing. So,
well, listen, I mean, you have the talent for all the arts. I mean, music is one type, and you also play music, you sing it. Now you go into the acting piece of it, and it's not easy. And of course, you mentioned about true emotions. I've always wondered how people do it, and it is tough. I mean, you see these actors out there. I mean, they really make you feel the emotions, and it's not a joke. I mean, they really get into the character, and they really drive that. That is not. I mean, I've always wondered, like, how do they even get like into crying mode and really get the whole emotion expressed, and you can see that in their eyes and their just behavior, and that's not something that's for everyone. I mean, to your point, it requires training, it requires a lot of effort, but you did learn it. Now you're expressing it, you're doing it, and definitely wish you the best in those in the trilogy, the series. And I think that's also honorable for the topic itself, because you're right, that is a big topic these days, and now there's more awareness. And yes, there's not enough content, I think, to even express and really discuss the topic itself. So movies are a good way to share that and also give awareness to people. Just like music can be also, inspiring and educating people. Music can do the same. I mean, movies can do the same. So now you mentioned something about COVID, and you said, there's not much action going on. But I do believe that you've produced your latest record, I think, right? And video also in the time of COVID.
I did, yes.
So I guess you were busy.
I meant in terms of acting, I guess. But yeah, okay. I definitely kept busy. I was able to work remotely with my producer. He's based out of the UK. His name is George Holliday. And this was the first record that I actually recorded a lot of the vocals myself. A friend of mine taught me everything I needed to know, and that sort of thing. I did the lead vocals in a studio, but everything else that you hear on Amnesia is recorded by me in my home studio, which was pretty awesome. And yeah, and
pretty good actually.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I flew my videographers in and we did the whole video here in San Antonio. And yeah, it's a very, very special record for me, for sure.
And there is a story behind it, I believe.
Yes, there's definitely a story.
do you want to share it, or it's okay? I mean, we don't have to, but definitely there's a story behind it. And I would urge people to just, download it, watch it, and you probably get the drift. You'll get the story, and the meaning of it probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind sharing a little bit,
Go for it.
So Amnesia is about, I'm very spiritual. I'm metaphysical reverend and that sort of thing. So I'm very in tune with energies and connections that I have with other people. So I've always had this gift of just, when you meet someone, you kind of know, like, you feel like sometimes like, oh, I feel like I've met this person before and that sort of thing. And I believe in past lives being metaphysical. And so it's about meeting someone that I fell for, that I knew that I had very strong past life connection with. But, that's one of my gifts, but not everybody has that. And it takes them time to kind of remember you. So, it's about the guy having amnesia and not really seeing me for our connection and what it really was. And it's about helping him to remember. So.
Well, listen, I saw the clip, I saw the video, and I want to say also, I mean, you look beautiful in that video. So this is actually the beauty channel. So again, people, please check out, the actual, song and the video. It's out there. So it's pretty cool. And so that takes me to the next question. Critics. Now, it's amazing that the world that we live in, there's always people that can always criticize people. It's just part of life, right? Have you experienced any of that so far? And do you anticipate that that's just going to get, better or less or worse? What would you say to that?
I mean, I haven't experienced a lot of it, although I know that I'm sure that there are people that are critical. But what I would say to that is that, everybody's just so different, and you're going to resonate with some people and some people you're just not. And that's okay. Like, life is just a huge buffet and you don't have to eat everything on the buffet. You can choose whatever you like. So some people are going to resonate with you and some people are not. And you just have to accept that.
Well, listen, I think you've summarized it nicely, because you're right. And, there's something for everyone, and some people are going to like your style, some people are not going to like your music or acting or whatever. That's okay. There's plenty out there, but we do want to reinforce rather the idea of positivity. And you know what? Support people for their ambition stuff. If you don't like what you hear, tune up, pick up another radio, another channel, another beat, and that's okay. We have our own preferred actors, we have our preferred, singers, and our preferred music. But at the end of the day, without hurting or without, I guess putting negative, vibe out there and the message. That's just how I see it. I don't like negativity personally, and I found it sometimes very annoying when people have nothing else to do but criticize, success. And that's just me. I mean, to me, anyone that's out there that's trying to do something, an achievement, whatever it is, they're working hard towards it. And, we undermine them when we criticize them the wrong way. Now, positive criticism, please tell me, oh, you could be doing this or the other, and something that can reinforce my abilities and talent. Why not? But if you're just going to do it because you just want to talk, because you're jealous, or because you're not feeling it, or because, oh, you did it and I didn't, that's another way. Those are problems. But I think, the world has that. That leads right into, the platforms where this is all cooking these days. I know you're in social media, and social media has become almost our life, especially in the last year and a half. I mean, with COVID, everybody lived in cyberspace. So what do you think about how the internet in general, whether it's about critics or about just the exposure and things like that, is it a good thing? It's got benefits, no benefits? What is your input on that?
I mean, I think everything has positive benefits and it has, you know, negative things. It's just about what you choose to focus on. And, you know, I think that it's important that we all just really protect our space and our, you know, electronic space as well, meaning, you know, unfollow people that, you know, you don't agree with or that rub you the wrong way or that you don't like their message. You can create your whole social media experience to cater to exactly what you want to see, you know. So
that is just you just simplified the word. That's exactly right. I mean, unfortunately, people fight and go back and forth. I mean, you know, you just like in our life, we have our own circles and we choose people carefully. In social, we can do the same. And you're right. If you don't feel the environment is right, you just move yourself from the environment or you eliminate those elements that are not really producing any good things, right? And but again, to your point, like everything has good and bad, and we just have to be able to select the good and eliminate the bad out of our lives, and that's a good way to look at it. I mean, I have to say, I love your mental state and how you see things and how you actually really are putting yourself out there in terms of your path, your career, your determination, and even your person. I mean, you're speaking words of wisdom, and I think that's beautiful and that is great. And people need to hear that because again, you are getting in the world where you're going to become, and you already are an influencer, a star, somebody that you know that people will follow and want to be just close to, right? Following your music, your stardom, your movie, you know, a success, all of that. And so people actually get influenced by that, and you are sending a message and the message positive, and that's a great thing. And I think, you know, just for that alone, I mean, people listen up, follow up, listen up to Elexis, see what she's doing out there and support her. Now, is there any specific actor or actress? I know today it's all actor, but you know, a male or female actor that you really look up to?
I would say Meryl Streep is a big one.
Ooh.
She's really amazing. She also studied at Lee Strasberg, I believe, which is where I studied. Many actors studied there. She's just phenomenal. Like you just really believe everything that she says. So yeah, that's a big one for me. In terms of actors, you know, like Al Pacino, you know, just all the greats, you know, there's just so many of them, but those are my top two.
Well, listen, I mean, you picked some real serious, again, classics. I mean, top of the line. And, you know, but that's actually a good, I want to just highlight that. You know, see, those are your role models, people that you look up to. And every one of us should imitate this particular, you know, concept. Look up to the best people out there in whatever it is that you like to do and learn from them and kind of emulate them if you want. You know, obviously, we start small, we start young, we start, you know, learning, but we can get to that point. But it's always good to set your standards high and you work towards that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you do set those goals high and really you want to be them, you can. In time, you will be. And there's nothing that can stop that except you. So again, as an advice, you know, from this, you know, I just wanted to highlight that part because that's important, that sometimes you dream, as we say, dream big. You know, I have the saying, dream so big that you can scare yourself, right? so why not scare yourself? It's all right. But you're doing it, and you are looking at those, you know, folks that are the greatest at what they do. Listen, I love both of them, and there are actually schools in acting and personalities and stuff. So definitely folks that we all love. I think the majority. I don't think anybody hates them. You know, they're so great that everybody loves them. You put a movie of both of them or any one of them, I'm gonna be, you know, in there. I have to watch it. So so those are great things. Now, was there any advice you were given that stood up with you, like that stayed with you for from the beginning to now, and that you are applying, you know, in your own path and career?
I think, you know, to kind of like segue off what you were saying, you know, it's great to follow those great people, but you can't get fixated too much on one person or the other. I think that it's a good idea to explore different people, different musicians, different actors, and then you take a little bit from this person, and you take a little bit from that person, and then you put it into you know, make it your original flavor that you've kind of like picked, you know, a little bit here and there from.
Hey, listen, I'm not even going to debate with that. That's actually beautiful because you're right. I mean, yes, well, we're talking about just setting up the standard, the high goal, but you're right. I mean, there's so many schools out there and there's different angles and different things you can learn from everyone. Same thing, like even music, right? You start with the flute, then you do the bass, you do this, you got to learn different things. And then that all gives you a little bit of your own yourself. It builds a whole new personality, a whole new character in you, and you get a little bit of everybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. And again, these are ways of success. These are ways of developing, oneself. And you're really touching on all these. These are all good elements, and you can go to these leadership trainings and coaching and things like that. Those are same concepts that people are always teaching out there, for people that want to succeed. So you're actually going by the book. You've hit every point that is actually there to hit. So congrats on that, and I would definitely I can see your journey. I can see where you're headed, and you will be big. And I'll be humbled actually one day and say, like, I know her. I had an interview with her. so keep up the great work, and that's the bottom line. No matter what, keep focused, and you'll get there. Now, is there anything specific that you want to tell your audiences, the people that you're going to follow you, the people that want to support you? What would you tell them?
I think the biggest message for me that I want to relay to anybody, and especially the people that follow me, is to learn how to love yourself and to not depend on others to love you. I think that's like the biggest journey in life, really, is just embracing yourself and kind of throwing out all those ideas that people have planted in your mind over the years, things like you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, and that sort of thing. I just think it's so important, is just to really embrace ourselves and without judgment. And you can always work on yourself, you can always better yourself, but you have to honor where you are, and you have to be okay with being who you are at this moment. So yeah, that's my biggest advice.
And listen, I will take that advice. And if you're listening, watching, please take that, because that is exactly a big piece of what we are, who we are, and what we can be. If you believe and don't listen to just focus, you'll be great at whatever you do. Now, one additional question: are you working on anything else? Now, I know that you're working on the movie, series and stuff, but like in the music, is there anything in the works that we should be looking up to?
I'm actually working on a dance song with Matteo Candura out of Italy. So I will be recording that pretty soon. I just finished writing it, and so that's my next project.
Nice. Always busy and keeping up. That's right. Well, that's the key, right? I mean, you can't just do one hit and just sit. You got to keep doing things and building and getting more angles. And same thing as you said about picking up from different top artists. The same thing. You have to create different flavors and different angles so people can have a little bit of variety. And that's actually beautiful. Now, that's in terms of music, in terms of the singing. Now I want to ask something totally different. Okay. Now, you said in the video from Amnesia, we're talking about the beauty channel. So was there any makeup artist, anybody specific? Because I mean, the whole look, looked great.
Oh, thanks. That means so much to me, because this was the actual first video that I styled, and I did all my makeup and hair myself. So
so you are the makeup artist. No, because people will see it. Again, people will say, well, this is a beauty show. Well, yes, but this is more than just beauty. Beauty is a lot of things, but really you put a nice a nice package together between the music, the video, and of course yourself, and the dress code. The imagery, everything was just delightful. So I wanted to just highlight that, and that's great. Again, that's really the big picture. You're doing a lot of things, and a lot of it you just said yourself. You produced yourself, and that's another aspect of success. When you do that, you appreciate everything else that's out there. And you understand, and also when you work with big companies and things like that and big projects, you already know what it takes to do all these things. So you also have a different level of respect for these things and for those folks that help. So, but it was, again, folks, check out Amnesia. That's the name of the song. That's the name of the clip, and I mean the video. Just check it out. I think it's available on
iTunes, Spotify,
all the podcasts, all the music, Apple, I guess. Oh, but also I think there's also the video that's out there.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
On YouTube. I know I've seen it. I had the actual link to it. I just forgot, where I got it from, but it was beautiful. So please check it out. I'll find the link, and maybe, Alexis, you can, connect me with it. I can put it on the show so people can see it as well, and just share it out there. Now we're coming to the end of the show, and we've covered a lot of angles. We've covered, the music. We've covered the movies. Now, you have other aspirations, as well, in terms of where you want to be, let's say in 5 years. What will those be?
Well, like I said, I really would love to do a jazz and blues album. I mean, that's just something I've always wanted to do, just waiting for the right time, the right producer. And I think I've found him, and
Nice.
He's in LA. And so I'm really hoping to get that going in the next couple of years.
Well, listen, I wish you the best. I wish you all the success in your journey. I know it will be a great one. Like I said, I look forward to that success, and we'll keep following you and tracking your and we'll support you as well. You're always, maybe we'll have a discussion 5 years, like, hey, we had it 5 years ago. Let's have an anniversary on this show here. but with much greater success. So Alexis, thank you so much for this particular time. I know we took a little bit long, but I just wanted to just highlight everything about you to the audiences, because people need to know who Alexis is, and also like what it takes to be in your shoes and to be an artist, and anyone that is aspiring to rise as a star in music, movie, and whatever it is that they want to do. Some of the advice that we have today is so powerful that it applies to almost everyone that wants to succeed. So, hey, and I don't think out there's someone that doesn't want to succeed. So that applies to everyone. Alexis, thank you so much for the time and the great content here, and the great information, the great, insights. Folks, thank you for watching and listening on iHeartRadio. Hurricane H here. We'll talk at the next show. New guest, new topic. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.